Because yeah, you're right. When we saw that clip from it, it looked great. I was really stunned by how good it looked, and this one doesn't do it for me, right? At least from this angle right here.
Yeah,
I think it looks fine. I saw this, and it's funny when you clicked on it, your voice went down an octave or two. It sounded like a little bit of disappointment there.
Oh, big disappointment. Not a little bit.
Not only do I like that it came with the minifigures, but I also like the details behind the minifigures and the chairs.
Ruckus, I still can't get over his high heels. It still makes me laugh to this day.
Totally different. I'm excited for this from a mainline perspective, and I'm leaving it at that.
The one with the slightly open mouth reminds me of Apocalypse from X-Men, with the lips going out.
Yes, this is going to help clear up the way for the Devastator War.
Welcome back, Transformers fans, to another thrilling episode of Bot vs. Con. As always, I'm James the Con.
And I'm the vacationing bot.
And we're back with another round of news. And before we get to that, we want to thank all of you for watching. We reached 2,000 subs, so we really want to say thank you for getting us there. I mean, Bobby's already vacationing for it, so he's already celebrating. So we really appreciate it. We've got a lot planned and a lot more to go. So stick with us. And if you haven't subscribed already, now's the perfect time. Join the party. And with that being said, we also want to give a shout out to the Chosen Prime, where you could pre-order a lot of the things we're going to be talking about today. And to all of our members, thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on in this little shack that I'm in. And why don't we just get started with the news? And the first thing is Hasbro Pulse Con 2024. So it'll be September 13th at 1 p.m., which is quickly approaching.
Yes.
That's like, as of recording this, that's 1 week from now. So stay tuned. We'll have coverage on that. Are you going to be watching this live?
I will be watching it live. I will just be coming back from vacation, so I will have some time to debrief and take in some more Transformer stuff. All
right. Well, I'm glad you're watching it live, because I cannot think I would live through watching another one of these things live. It's not my cup of energy. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of cool stuff shown off and whatnot. So let's keep it going, I guess. Anything more about this?
No, I think I'm actually looking forward to this one. I'm curious to see what they're going to talk about. It seems like what's leaked always gets confirmed, but I'm interested in seeing some things in hand potentially. Excuse me.
I'm interested in Devastator. I want to see what route they went with that, because they did say it'd be showed off in some form. Let us know in the comments below what you guys are interested in seeing, if anything. And why don't we move on to just announced?
Let's do it.
So there's some cool stuff, some mid stuff, and I guess let's start with this one's actually kind of cool. The complete first season of Transformers G1 is on YouTube. If you want to watch it after this video, make sure you stay to the end though. And it's just one long 6-hour video, which is actually kind of interesting and cool to see it all in one place. At least I think it is.
I think it is as well. That's actually pretty cool. I guess there'll be a lot of breakups for the commercials that would be there and stuff, but I'm down for that.
Yeah, we'll see how long it's up, because I'm sure they're going to reissue the cartoon and pull it. But watch it while you can. And I really like this thumbnail. It's really cool art on the side. So Transformers 1 showed off the official song "If I Fall" by Quavo, Ty Dolla $ign, and Are We Dreaming? And the composer
Quavo.
What? Quavo. I've never heard of any of those people before. And the composer is Brian Tyler. Did you listen to this song?
I have not heard the song at all.
To me, it sounds very auto-tuned, but again, it's not my cup of energy. It has nothing on the original soundtrack from the 80s. They should have just reused those songs, and I think a lot of people would have been happy, because this does nothing for me. It sounds like everything you hear on the radio.
Great. It does nothing for me as well then, if that's the case, and I'll listen to it, but who knows. And Quavo is big in Atlanta, so that's how I definitely know who that is, and Ty Dolla $ign as well. Know who both of those are. Are We Dreaming? That one doesn't ring a bell at the moment.
Maybe he's the music behind it. If the other two people like the rappers,
yeah.
So maybe they're like the words, and then Are We Dreaming is doing the. But then it said Brian Tyler was the composer. I don't know. Either which way, let us know if you like it below. I hope there's at least one throwback to one of the songs or something in Transformers 1.
I wouldn't. I don't think I would want for them to do a throwback, because we would critique it so hard if they did just remix one of those songs from the 80s. I think a new soundtrack would be better. Also, because let's look at it two ways. If the movie's terrible, we're going to associate the soundtrack with the movie being terrible, and we're going to bash it because of that. If the movie's good, then we're going to be like, okay, they should have came out with their own soundtrack, so they could have had their own, feel and stage of being a good movie with a good soundtrack. So I don't think anyone would necessarily be happy. It would be kind of like Transformers in general. You'll have two sides, maybe three sides of the coin. You love it, you hate it, and it was like, meh. But I think it's okay for them to have an original soundtrack, especially since it's supposed to be pre everything else. So
what I was thinking, I think it's great as well that they have an original soundtrack, but I think if they put, I don't know, the Transformers theme song in there somewhere, maybe somebody has a radio and they turn a radio on and that song plays and they're like, turn off that music or something like that.
That would be cool.
Something like that. I want something in there with that, just because it's so iconic. And I hate to say it, I think this song is going to be, from what I listen to, it's going to just be forgotten about.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it sounds like everything else. No,
I already forgot about it
to them, but you have to remember what type of music I listen to. So it's very forgettable for me.
That's very true.
Let's keep going for Transformers 1, and I guess Transformers Day is September 17th. I thought I saw. Don't know what that's about, but they showed off Studio Series Transformers 1 Bumblebee. What are your thoughts on this?
I think this looks fine. Honestly, I saw it and it doesn't look bad. I don't know. Some ways I like it, other ways I'm like, okay, it's fine, but I don't hate it.
I agree. I think all my eyes go to are those horrible feet.
Yeah.
It all looks like a whole bunch of tumor, like yellow, like there's no definition in any of it. The color is also not shiny enough, but again, it's a mainline, so what do you expect? No, not mainline, Studio Series. But I honestly think the other Bumblebees we've seen before, while they might be gappier and hollower, look better than this one. This one, the alt mode doesn't look as nice as, remember, the mainline one, at least in my opinion. It has all that gap on the side, and I looked at the mainline one, it had a big black piece from what I remember, but it still looks a little bit more put together. And the shoulders on this look very, non-existent. And the chest looks off. I don't know. I think the other ones look better. If I was collecting these, I would... If I wanted a representation of Transformers 1 Bumblebee, first I'd buy the YoloPark one, because that thing actually looks nice. Second of all, I would probably get the mainline one.
Interesting. I did not put them side by side, so I can't remember what the mainline one looks like offhand. But at present, this one's okay. I don't really like the wheels on it, and I don't know if, again, vacation brain, old age, I can't remember if it's the same, but I do agree that the previous versions we've seen, the top, I guess we were talking about, there's kind of it looks like it caves in a little bit on the side. It did look like it was completely filled out on the mainline one, where this one looks like there was a piece missing, a chunk of it's missing.
Yeah. It's not horrible, but it's not great. But one thing I do want to bring attention to is that gun, because we've seen that gun before on quite a few of them, and it's also on Elita 1. What do you think of this Elita 1 design?
I need to see it from different angles because it looks. I can't tell what it's supposed to be.
The alt mode or the bot mode?
The alt mode. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The alt mode. The bot mode looks fine. It doesn't look like she has really long legs and cankles and everything from things we've seen before. It's just fine. It's nothing that's mind blowing, but it's nothing that's bad either. Again, the alt mode I can't really tell. I can tell it's supposed to be some type of motorbike or whatever, but I need to see it from a different angle to see if I like it or not.
Yeah. I'll start off with the motorbike. I think it's intriguing. It looks different. I like that. We both like the alt mode. When we saw the alt mode on that poster, it was like, that looks cool.
Yes.
This doesn't do it for me. And maybe this is what it looks like in the movie. And the poster was angled and all that stuff with all the photo editing that they could do. But it looks intriguing. And the bot mode looks okay as well. I don't like all the stuff hanging off of her lower forearms. But I understand that stuff probably has somewhere to go. They probably didn't have in the budget to make 3 more flaps for it to fold up neatly. I get it. It looks way better than the Bumblebee and the Optimus Prime, though, and even the Megatron. I think this is the best one out of the 4 Studio Series figures, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, this one doesn't look bad. Like I said, I guess I totally agree with you. I just want to see that alt mode in maybe a different angle or what, because yeah, you're right. When we saw that clip from it, it looked great. I was really stunned by how good it looked, and this one doesn't do it for me, right? At least from this angle right here.
Yeah. And I also think it's going to be kind of small, because if you look at the peg hole on the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I was looking at how big the gun is, and
that too.
With it mounted, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but all of the Studio Series movie figures were always kind of tiny. So, let's keep it moving on to Transformers 40th Anniversary Retro G1 Optimus Prime. An Australian site put this up. It's a cartoon deco, which is kind of weird seeing it on a G1 Prime, and it is Walmart exclusive in the US. I don't even need to ask you because I know this is bought. Yeah.
I'm not excited about it, but yes. I love the packaging. The nostalgia from when I was a kid. I got this for Christmas. Shout out to my uncle Ozzy. I got this for Christmas. I think when I was 7 or 8 years old, and it was like the best Christmas gift ever at that time. So. Yeah, I'm going to pick this up, and like I said, I'm not overly excited. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's one of those things that I'll pick up.
Yeah, and I do think they did a good job with it, because I thought this was old because they just re-released it last year, the normal, the toy version. And then I looked at it and I saw the white and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. It's a different, unique deco. They did a good job with it, like you said. The box looks really cool. So props to Hasbro. They did a good job on this redeco.
They did. They really did.
Well, that's the last of Hasbro's, what they just announced. So we're going to move into third party right after this break. First up is a Metalhead upgrade by Non-F. Honestly, I hate to say it, this is what it should have looked like.
Yes.
I know Metalhead I think he's a villain, if I'm remembering correctly. But this just makes sense. So I like this. The different color head as well, with the gray and the red eyes and the yellow, really help the color separation in this. And I think this does look a lot better, personally.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know if, I bought 6 of them. I returned 5 of them. So I don't know if this is going to make me want to go pick up another one just to have, but it is a thought of mine.
Yeah. Well, if you can't find it, I'm finding like 6 to 8 of them at all of my Targets out here. They are not selling terribly well. So let me know and I can grab one for you.
Okay.
Next, we've got Funby Studios, and they're doing a surfboard for Beachcomber. Not much shown, only the 3D image, but it looks like a surfboard does. Is this what it looked like in the show?
I don't remember him on a surfboard in the show, but I was thinking it might be something from the comic or something. But
maybe it's from the comic. I just assumed it was from.
Yeah,
let us know down below.
Yeah,
what this is from. But it looks nice. It looks like Silver Surfer with like an engine on the back.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be for like Daniel from the '86 movie. He had the little hoverboard.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking when I first saw it. But you know, if Beachcomber with a surfboard, it makes sense. I just don't remember an episode with him on it.
Yeah,
offhand.
Same. Another upgrade set, Matrix Workshop is doing a weapon set for the security officer Orion Pax. So I don't know which one this is for, but I think it's for the SDCC one, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you could give this to any figure. It's all 5mm pegs. But I think it's for the SDCC one. They all look good, though.
They do. I'm, not familiar with the weapon being tied to him, as you kind of alluded to, but it looks cool. If it's accurate, great. I don't think it's something I'll be picking up, but cool.
Yeah, same. Next, this one kind of caught me off guard. This is Lijiang Biangjing. I think I said that right. Please excuse my French if I didn't. This is CA10 Truck Pocket Edition. So this is a Legends version, but it's not really that much smaller. If you look at the truck mode picture, there's the original size. So it's slightly smaller, but not like much smaller. Anyways, it's 23 centimeters, and this is via Weibo. We got these pictures. Never mind. 23 CMG is the picture taker. There we go. Okay. Correction. Anyways, I said that, and I'm like, that's huge for Legends. Anyways, yeah. I do think this figure's kind of cool. Honestly, he with the backgrounds, he looks like a farmer. just change his gun out for a pitchfork, and you're good to go.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. When I saw this, I actually laughed because I thought about buying the bigger one initially, and I saw a transformation video of it, and it was something about it that I think the reviewer said it felt cheap or something like that. Whatever it was, it didn't strike me as something I wanted to pick up after watching the video and then seeing how much they were charging for it.
Yeah.
This one also, it's cute. It looks like it has more of a hound head on it, so that's different. The head is definitely different from the bigger one. But I don't know. I don't think I would pick this up at a smaller scale.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks great. I wouldn't pick it up either. But I can see Legends collector wanting something different in their collection.
Different,
yeah. Especially if it's cheap. I don't remember the cost of this, but this is like $10-15. I'd say go for it.
Yeah, if it would surprise me if it's that cheap. I was thinking more like $22-25, but
Well, I mean, I know some
of the dollars here, a couple of dollars there.
Yeah, so who knows? Let's keep it moving with smaller figures. We've got Dr. Wu's Silver Lightning and Clawworm. I love that name. Smoke Dust and Beetlehorn. So what do you think of these?
We knew they were coming, and I like the cars. I'm not too big a fan of the Insecticons. They look fine, but these two sets are ones that I will be passing on. It's a little bit easy to pass on these because I have them in MP scale
and chug scale.
Yeah, and chug scale. Yeah, true. So it's nothing that really motivates me. But for those that are, again, collecting these smaller than legend size figures, I get wanting to have these in your collection.
And maybe they heard me bitch and moan because they're not just doing repaints of the Grasshopper. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Kickback. I was going to say that. I'm like, that's not right. Anyways, they're not doing the just Kickback. They're actually doing the other Insecticons. So if you got all 3 sets, you would have the 3 Datsun Bros and the 3 Insecticons, which I think is really cool. I think why you aren't jiving with these Insecticons is they look kind of chibi-fied. You know, like especially in the alt mode, they look like they have big or little heads and they look very cute and not very intimidating. Not that the Insecticons are very intimidating to begin with, but I think you understand what I'm going at.
Yeah. It's just not the look. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's not the look that I would want them to be in.
But that being said, they still look good, and I think at that small, if you have all Dr. Wu's, I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Magic Square's Legends Munitioner, the Toon version. So we know they're coming out with the MP size. Well, we're assuming they are. I guess they're doing another round of the Toon. What's that called? Toon figures. What do you think of this?
It looks good. I think we agree that Swindle is our favorite out of the Combaticons. It looks, pretty accurate. I didn't pick this up, because it was legend scale. I won't be picking this up either, but I like that the foot matches, again, because of the Toon aesthetic. But I think it looks great. I heard a lot of good things about, this set, and so having the chance to pick it up for collectors is great.
Yeah, I agree. I am not a fan of the foot being the same color, but I understand why. For the Toon and everything. Got it. Same thing with the purple hood. Don't like the purple hood. It makes no sense. But again, it's supposed to be like the Toon. I get it. It's okay. Whatever. But the bot mode is honestly where it's at. And if the MP one looks like this, I might get the MP one as a standalone Swindle. He doesn't need to combine in my eyes. Swindle is his own character, which is very unique among combiners, where they get their own personality. One of the limbs gets their own personality and kind of goes on by themselves. So this looks really good, and I would not mind having an MP-sized one in my collection. Even though I don't like the smooth legs and like the thighs and stuff, the posability and stuff kind of makes up for that.
Yeah, it looks great to me. I think the bot mode looks fine. I think the combined mode will look great as well. So, I wouldn't, criticize anybody who picked this up. I wouldn't criticize anybody anyway, but I can see why somebody would pick this up and have it in their collection. It looks good.
Yeah, it does. And Bobby's lying about criticizing people because he criticizes me every day. So
well, that's different.
I'm just
you
joking.
Deserve criticism.
Well, why don't we just take a quick break and get into the updates? Well, let's get into some updates. The first one isn't technically toys, but it is the video game. So the Transformers Galactic Trials showed off the official character gameplay trailer. Now, I'm assuming you didn't watch this because you are on vacation, but it looks fun enough. It's kind of like Mario Kart, but with Transformers. And I really like the characters they chose. A lot of classics. I like that Flame War and Nightbird are in there as kind of the random, I guess, the obscure characters. I think Alita 1 they put in because of the movie. And then Nemesis Prime it's not my favorite version of Nemesis Prime. But I think the designs look fine. Would I pick up this game? Depends on the price.
Okay.
If it's $20, $30, sure, I'll try it. It'd be fun to play with, my wife or something if we're, a racing game with Transformers. Especially if it's a multiplayer game. But if it's a full price game, they're not getting the money.
Wait till it goes on sale. I'm with you I'm with you. I haven't seen the trailer for this, so I don't. This is the, you know, my introduction to the game details here. I do like all the characters. I wonder if there'll be some downloadable content that you can add in more characters. That would be cool. But I think you're spot on with the addition of the random figures. You know, there's definitely some other, you know, like a Blur or something like that. That would be, you know, so yeah, something, you know, with it being a racing game, I could see some other characters being, you know, a better fit per se. But it's fine. I'm with you on that. I wouldn't pay full price for this.
Yeah. Wheeljack also seems like a weird, like what you just said made me think Wheeljack is a weird choice for a racing game instead of like what?
Wheeljack is a racing car.
I know, but I think of him as like an engineer that doesn't really go fast. Even if he's a racing car, I think it would make more sense to put like Hot Rod or you know, something like that. Yeah, Blur, like you said, Blur is like the best. But that should be the unlockable character that beats everybody.
Yeah,
you know. So yeah, but I still like the characters. Let us know your thoughts below, and we'll see if we pick these up.
Yes.
Next up, we have the YoloPark's cogged Orion Pax Alita 1, D16, and B127 in hand images and via Baidu user Wally. And these look good, honestly. And I think Bumblebee's feet look better here, but they're still kind of weird looking.
That's the first thing I looked at with your comments on the previous iteration of Bumblebee. I don't know. I think the light maybe shining on them, or the color is a little bit brighter, so it doesn't look as bad. But that is the first thing I looked at, which makes me say that the Studio series we reviewed earlier looks pretty accurate.
Yeah, it looks okay. And since we looked at those, I got up close images of Alita and Bumblebee. And I don't think they're too far off with the Studio series. Obviously, these are so much better, like in terms of looking like the screen, but that's because they don't transform. What do you expect, you know? But I think where they might have missed the mark on Alita is they left off a lot of the white. Like on the thighs, it was gray instead of white, and I think white would have looked better. A little bit more color contrast on the Studio series, like you could see here. And the Bumblebee, you could tell he's more of a gold, while the other one was a straight up cheap yellow.
Exactly.
And I think it's hard to do gold right, because if they do, sometimes it comes out like Metal Hawk, or at least the original one that we have, which was more of a mustard, not a gold.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Perfect assessment on that. Yeah. I can't even add anything.
Way cooler here. I'm going to throw that in.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you all the way on that. I think everything you said is spot on. I do think these look, especially the B, looks so much better. But again, non-transforming, can add things into it. The price point, you know.
Yeah. Well, these are only $30, $29.99.
I'm saying, but for a non-transforming figure,
you're right.
$30. You know, you can put your budget into that.
Yeah. And on top of that, you put them together, so you don't have to, you know, not that you really put them together like a Gundam, but you still put them together.
Right.
Yeah, these look phenomenal, though. Great job, YoloPark.
Yes.
Next, we've got Cybertron Universe Slipstream in hand images. What do you think about this?
I think it looks fine. I saw this, and it's funny when you clicked on it, your voice went down an octave or two. It sounded like a little bit of disappointment there.
Oh, big disappointment. Not a little bit.
I saw this and it was like, oh, I'm curious to see what James is going to say about this. I think it looks fine. I don't Supercell. I'll probably pick it up. Full price, I will not. I think the colors look good though.
I do like the colors. I think the bright purple is a little too bright compared to the chest purple, because the chest purple almost looks black. It kind of gets overshadowed by the bright purple shoulder pads. And I don't know if it's supposed to be different purples. I do like the varying tones, though. And that could be also lighting. If you see it in natural light, it could look closer. Putting that out there. I just think Slipstream needs a Voyager. I don't think you could do her justice with having it just a Windblade remold. You can't really put the null rays where they should be. And that would have been easy to do, is just to remold the shoulder pads to have a hole on it. Perfect. There you go. I don't like the lower legs, but I didn't like that on Windblade either. I get that it's a Cyberverse type of look. It's not my favorite. The colors look fine besides the chest. I think if that was a brighter purple or if the purple was darker. It's the same thing like before. I'm not picking it up. I don't like it that much. I've got as much as we like to make fun of Make Toys, I've got the Make Toys Slipstream in my collection, and I'm good with that. I hope Bingo Toys does a Slipstream. I think that would be really, really good. And I like their Windblade so much. I'd be okay if it was a Windblade repaint. Just give me something at this point. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do think this is okay. Slipstream should be, in my eyes, eye to eye with Starscream, because she was his clone.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know if they released a Starscream recently. Well, they haven't released animated Starscream, but either which way, it's going to be quite a bit smaller.
That's where I'm with you on that. I don't have a connection with the character except for when you talk about it. So I'm literally basing my opinion of how this should look to things that you say, since you love this character so much. But I think the colors look good. I have the sun killing me here. I'm like a roasting pig over here. But I think I can't really see the difference in the purple. Well, I can see the difference in the purple, but I can't see as much because, again, the sun's shining in. But I can definitely tell there's a difference. But I think this looks better than the Windblade that they did.
Yeah, but at least Windblade was supposed to look like that.
That's true.
So, well, now let's move on to something that I know you're going to get, and that is MPG 14 God Bomber. So, Takara Tomy showed off some new images of it, and what do you think of this figure?
So, pre-order is in, and this is another one that I don't necessarily love. I think that there's the KFC version, which I have the trailer for. I think I'll probably complete that set. Fans Hobby did this. I think they did it better, honestly. But there's something pulling me into this. I do not like the accessories on the arms, which we've talked about before. It looks fine. It's just, I don't know, maybe this will be just another way for me to display it with having different variations of it.
Yeah. I do agree with you that Fans Hobby, I think, is the best one. That one's not too stylized like their Genrai is. That one, the Prime is very stylized, but I think the God Bomber isn't. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I love the way that looks. This one, I know really nothing about this character. I don't know that much about him. I love the name, but the gun on top looks ridiculous in bot mode. First thing I'm going to say. And I wish, like, if you see on the tip of the wings, I wish they could swivel around in alt mode so the thrusters are facing back.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
I know that's a very tiny thing, but I don't know why. I just noticed that, and it's bothering me. So, I wish that would have happened, but it looks fine. The big forearms, yeah, they're huge. The head does look a little tiny, but that might be because the forearms are so huge that it makes everything else tiny. But what's cool is inside the chest of God Ginrai has the 3 headmasters, or what? Headmaster Juniors. That's what they're called. And
it's God Bomber.
What?
You called it God Ginrai.
Well, that's with its combined mode chest.
Oh, okay.
For the complete thing, because
I see. Okay.
Technically, that's not that chest right there. It's a.
I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they look really cool. They're very well painted. These must be tiny because this thing is not a big figure. I mean, it's decent, but it's not. It ain't no Fans Hobby or KFC. But they look really good in there. I don't think they do anything. I think this is it. And
they do look static.
Yeah, but I'm glad at least they included something. And we did post a blurry picture last time, but now you can see a clear picture of all the different pieces of the gloves and shoes that it turns into. So, any thoughts on this?
So, not only do I like that it came with the minifigures, but I also like the details behind the minifigures and the chairs. That looks really, really cool. It looks like there's, some. They took some time to design it and put something there besides just like a black panel or a green panel or whatever that we've seen before. So it looks like it's pretty detailed back there, and I like that aspect of it. I like the details just around the figure chest as well as we're zooming in on it. It looks good.
Yeah, I agree. It brings it to life. And what's kind of cool is Takara Tomy is having a mall exclusive of MPG 14S, which is going to be both Super Ginrai and God Bomber into God Ginrai. And I like this box. It's pretty cool. I still don't understand T-Spark. I see it taunting me in the corner. Still don't know what that means. But it looks, I like this box. What are your thoughts on the box? We'll talk about the figures in a second.
Okay, so 2 things. One, I had to relocate because I was burning up and...
I forgot to say that.
And everything shut down because it was so hot outside. So I did relocate, so I apologize for any background noise that you may have hearing in the back there. But a correction, it is still only the God Bomber that comes in this box.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
The special box set only comes with God Bomber?
Yes, it's so you can actually add Ginrai to it, similar to what they did with the trains, where the last train came with this exclusive box.
I did not know that. I'm glad you corrected. I did not read that. Okay.
Yeah, so that was so. When you all see the price and think that you've got it for a steal and you cancel your pre-orders on the other ones, don't do that, because yes, this is just the box, and it comes in this box for display purposes, which I actually love that aspect of it. Because now we can talk about the box. I think the box looks great. Similar to what we said again with the MPG train box, it was like, oh, this is really cool. Even though I wasn't picking it up, I thought it was exciting that you could get all 6 of them in the box. But no, this is filler. It does make me want to say, since you already made the box, since you already have it compatible, please just release a gift set.
Yeah, I thought they learned something from the trains, but I guess not. So let's talk about the figure a little bit. I was gonna say this looks amazing. I see why people like it, even though it's tiny. And then I looked at the alt mode and saw the arms sticking straight up, and I see where they could have collapsed. And that just ruins it. Honestly, it looks ridiculous with those arms sitting there. And I think we looked at the original and it didn't have them sticking out that tall.
Right. I did bring my original out.
But other than that, I do think this still looks good. Is it for me? No. Would I get even, what's it called? Fans Hobbies, this color of it? No. I don't need another Prime in my collection. But, I think even if they do a Nemesis color, I probably would still be out, honestly. But it looks nice. Another gripe I have, which I know is probably accurate, is how thick that blue stripe is in alt mode. And then it gets so tiny in the God Bomber area. Were you just about to say that?
I was.
Why don't you continue then?
Well, I think I was actually going to try to come to the aid of it. Looking at it in this picture, the wings in the back of God Bomber being so high, maybe they tried to balance it in the front with the arms being higher, so you can kind of get the red and antenna-ish looking thing on the front and the red antenna-ish looking thing on the back.
You are
I'm
jumping
reaching.
through hurdle. You're reaching far.
I'm
Because wings
I mean,
on the back of a wings on the back of a trailer actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reaching. I'm reaching for everything here. So yes. So you're correct there. But yeah, I did notice the stripe. It was just kind of like it's thick at the bottom, and then I was like, could they had made it thicker and had it continued through? So and then I was just like, is the trailer even level? And again, from this angle, it does look like the God Bomber is a little lower. So I was thinking to myself, like, is that the screen? Is it my eyes? Is it, But then when you said you see it as well, I was just like, oh, yep, okay. They could have made the stripe a little thicker or what. I don't know if it's accurate. I probably, as a kid, didn't pay that much attention to it. But now when I get home, I am going to check to see if they balance out.
Yeah, I definitely want to know. And it's probably accurate, so it's a moot point, but it looks fine.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to this Karakuri statue KS01 Optimus Prime official pictures. And this is the self-transforming Optimus that Takara's coming out with. That's a humongous base, but it looks fine.
I think we've been doing this a little bit too long now, because that was the first thing I noticed as well, was the base. Now, where I'm going to give some pushback on this is because, yes, it's a humongous base and the figure doesn't look that big. It immediately took me to the Robeson base, which initially I was totally out on, and until we were at TFCon and I actually saw it in person and saw the things that it did, and I was like, oh, this is cool. That base is humongous as well. The difference between these two is that the figure is also big. If that base was on the, or if the elite version of Prime was on that same base, I think it would look like this. So this is, I don't know, it looks oversized. I'm not sure how much is put into the base, for it to, is the mechanics of it transforming and all that stuff in the base, or does the base do anything? Or is it just a matter of just made a big old base for it?
Well, and I also have to say with the base, it looks to be the length of the alt mode, because this one does transform, I think, on the base. So it has to be that big. There's nothing they could do. It has to be a certain amount to get it in the center. And yeah. Well, yeah, it is thick. Yeah, but so I get it. It just takes up a lot of room. I think it's cool, though. It's a different take on like a Robeson type of thing. Take it or leave it, I'd love to see it actually transform. I don't know if we've seen something like that, but the gun hanging off of the side in truck mode is weird, too. It's kind of cool, but it's kind of weird at the same time. I don't know if I like it or not.
I don't like it.
Well, there you go. So let's keep it going. And we've another Takara release is the Dramatic Capture Series Triple Takeover 3-pack with Starscream, Astrotrain, and Blitzwing. The only extra parts besides the weapons are the crown and the cape. So there's no gloves, Hulkbuster gloves for Blitzwing, and Astrotrain doesn't get the extra caboose or whatever you want to call it. Cab, yeah. Starscream doesn't come with a throne, but I did come with the Megatron set. And this is 16,500 yen, which is approximately $114, which seems that seems like a lot for 3 Voyagers, but maybe not. $35. No, I guess that's about normal, honestly. Yeah, it just doesn't do anything for me. The changes are marginal compared to the normal releases. Maybe besides Astro Train without the splatter. I don't remember if he had all that War for Cybertron splatter on him.
Based off of the prices that that each one of these initially came out at, I mean, Blitzwing was 55, I believe. Starscream was 55. I don't remember how much Astro Train was, but
it was 50, 55, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I think with the things that it doesn't include, especially Blitzwing's gloves, definitely cut those out and reduce the price. So they won me over there. You mentioned the Throne not coming with Starscream. Fine. If you pick up the other pack, you have it. Astro Train not getting his caboose. I mean, that I'm not used to him having that caboose thing anyway. So
it was just a way for them to make him leader class.
That's exactly. So those things missing from this and the price point being lower, I think I like that actually. If I didn't have these, I would probably jump on that instead of paying the retail price of it when it first came out. Now, Blitzwing, hell, I still saw it on shelves, probably a month ago in certain places. And the Starscream was popping up at Ollie's and stuff like that. But I think that these are painted better. So I would be in on this 3-pack.
Yeah, I am definitely not. I don't have any of these figures, and I don't plan to. Now let's talk about this. So we've got the Mayhem Attack Squad, and this is by a user on X. And now, what do you think of these two figures?
I did pre-order them, I think.
You said you did.
Yeah, because I wanted the Ruckus. So I think they look fine. The Bludgeon doesn't look as bad. I'm not a fan necessarily of the character himself. So this will be something new for me. The Ruckus, it looks fine. I think I like it better in alt mode, but it looks fine, and they will find a place somewhere in my collection.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Bludgeon looks fine. I'm not a big fan of this color scheme for Bludgeon, number one. Number two, I'm not a big fan of that yellow. It looks like mustard. Ruckus, I still can't get over his high heels. It still makes me laugh to this day. I don't like the tan color. I wish it was silver, but I think that's his iconic color. So if it is, hey, good on them for doing that. But I do gotta say, as a team, this Amazon exclusives do look like a cohesive unit. Even though they're all crazy colors, it all kind of works together somehow. And I do think they look cool. This isn't gonna make me pick up that Bludgeon and Ruckus 2-pack, but I do think they look good together.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the team as a whole, so this was just me grabbing them. Definitely wanted the Insecticons, the deluxe Insecticons that we've been missing for decades. So getting this set, it's fine. I think they all do look good together, and I'll be happy to have them all together and figure out how I'm going to arrange them together on a shelf.
Yeah, you should have fun with that. And next we have Knight Rider, and this is by Famatoy on Instagram. So Agent Knight, that's the official name, and they showed off the lights and sounds. They had a little video going and everything. And this figure looks good. There's not much to really say about it, but I do like what I'm seeing, honestly, and the price seems about right.
Yeah, I think when this was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con, or not announced, but shown off at San Diego Comic-Con, I know we were both pretty excited about it. Me, of course, more than you, but I think we both really thought this was what we want to get from Hasbro. The price point fit what you were getting with the figure. The alt mode looked great. The bot mode looked great. The details looked great. Transformation was good. The size of the figure was good. I'm completely happy with this.
Yeah, couldn't say it better myself. Let us know your thoughts below if you haven't already on this figure. Next one, I know you cannot wait to get, and that's the Core Class Transformers Bumblebee Starscream, and this picture's via Chuck Dog 1999. It's supposed to be released in December, I guess, but I guess some people are already getting it. So when can we expect a review?
Well, the person who released this, Chuck Dog, I think you said, I just want to chuck this figure. Yeah, this doesn't do anything for me. Don't like it at all, and I would be doing a disservice and lying if I said anything more about this figure in a positive. I guess the colors look fine. It resembles Starscream, and the colors are right on point there, and it identifies that Starscream.
I'm actually, you took the words out of my mouth here. I was going to say the one positive thing I can say is for a core class figure, the paint and the color separation is actually very nice. Yeah. They did a good job on that. It's not like all one color or two colors. There's all the colors you need for Starscream, and it looks good. Other than that, I will leave this for the next person to buy when I see it at time. Moving on, we've got this. This is going to be contentious. I can't say that word. This is going to cause some drama. Let me put it that way. We've got MP44, the toy. Is that the toy version? I think that's the toy version, right? The toy version and Studio Series 86 Prime. This is via Weibo user comparing the two. Now, what do you think about these two together?
All right, so the obvious things which we can break down. People have been comparing the two, which I have said from the beginning, that's not fair. It's not fair to the Commander class to compare it. But since people wanted to do that, let's talk about it. They both have backpacks. Clearly, the MP44 backpack cleans up and looks better than the Studio Series. This is why I said don't compare the two. The windows and the details in the MP44, it looks better to me. It looks more realistic. It looks, overall cleaner. I just don't see why somebody would open the door to compare these two. Every aspect of the MP44, while not a perfect figure, I think is done better than the Commander class, which again, I expect that because there's a huge price point difference in them. It's a lot more complicated of a transformation. It's a lot more tooling that goes into it, and so I expect for it to look better. I don't see where people think that the Commander class looks better than the MP44 in any way. I mean, even like the details on the forearms, there's just so many details that aren't there on the Commander class. And that's not to say that it's a bad figure, because I am picking it up and it is something that I wanted, but don't compare it to an MP figure.
Especially this MP figure. I'm right there with you. It was $250, I think, just for the Prime. And it's $80 for the Commander class, or 90? Was it 90? I don't remember the exact price.
Probably 90.
But you even say $100, you still can't compare the two. I'm going to take the colors out of it because I do like the toy colors better on almost any Prime figure. I like the silver. I don't like the white. The white looks cheap to me, but it looks like underpants, like he's wearing boxer briefs, in my mind. But taking that out of it, you hit on everything. The backpack's cleaner. It's a little bit bigger on MP44, but it also does have lights and sounds, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
So I can give it a little bit of leeway because of that. I don't like the waffling. I don't like all this, the screw holes and stuff on the back of the Commander class. And then the silhouettes. Coming from a tune and watching some of the episodes, the MP44 is that more long, streamlined silhouette, which I kind of expect in Optimus, while the Commander class has more of like a squat, bulky build. Which isn't saying that either of those are wrong. Either of those are better. But I do think the lankier build works a little bit better for a Toon one. I don't think you could compare either of the masterpieces, MP10 or MP44, to the Commander class, because I think MP44 also blows the Commander class out of the water. I don't think they're, but they're completely different. What did I say? Yeah, I meant MP10. Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's very late when I'm recording and I'm very tired, so please bear with me. But I think MP10 blows it out of the water. It might not have as much posability as either of these two up here, but the shelf presence and the way it looks is just so cool, and I love the realistic alt mode. So all in all, I would pick the Masterpiece one up, but I don't think that should surprise anybody.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, even the legs, that they have that angle to them, that the Commander class was more like blocks, you know. And I know it has so many more panels and stuff, but if people want to compare these, I'll compare them. But yeah, I don't think it's a fair comparison. I think it'd be better to compare it to other mainline primes, I guess.
Exactly.
But even then, you can't really compare it to mainline primes because those are so much cheaper than this.
Yeah.
There's really nothing to compare the Commander class Optimus to.
Well, and that's why when it was first released, and I said this is the best prime we've got from the mainline, and I want to leave it at that. Like this looks better than the G1, I think. You know, that came out, even though that's my heart, but you know, in terms of everything it can do and things. But I think the original G1 was $35. So, you know, but that was, of course, 40 years ago. But,
yeah, so who knows how much that would be.
Right. So, but I think that this has the best presence that we've gotten from, you know, any pick a prime out over the last 20 years or whatever. This is killing that, but it doesn't compare to the MP. Like,
yeah, no.
And
I will disagree with you because I do like some other primes more than this. But that's personal preference because this is not my favorite prime design. Will I regret not picking it up? Hell no. Will I pick it up if they do a Nemesis version? Maybe.
Yeah, this is bought. I'm still very, very excited about it. It's just, I'm totally different. I'm excited for this from a mainline perspective, and I'm leaving it at that.
Well, what about when they do the Studio Series Optimus Prime Plus, and it's the same figure without the trailer with better paint apps?
We'll have to talk about it at that point in time.
All right, well, let's keep it going. And we've got 115 Utopia's Legacy Windsweeper kit. I keep forgetting that this thing is out, and so I must not really want it. I've been actually messing with him while we've been doing this. He's right here, and I'm like, do I really want to get an upgrade set? I looked at non-Fs as well, and I don't know if I am. I don't know if it's worth the money, but it looks fine.
Yeah, even though I'm on vacation, I think mine is on the shelf in my recording room, but this, I wasn't going to pick this up either way. I don't think. Yeah, I don't love the figure enough to do that.
I mean, this was a surprise for me because I really like the figure. It has really posable. It's kind of what I think what should be expected out of a Hasbro Deluxe. I just don't know if I want to spend the extra money on it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Next up, we have Dr. Wu's Extreme Warfare Menace King the Gold version via I Am No Fire.
Wow.
Those black dots on the hip skirts are really throwing me off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had to actually zoom in. I am using my phone. Wow. Yeah, those are throwing me off. And the color.
I don't know if they're pins, and that's how it transforms. That's what I'm assuming. But they're very obvious on an all gold deco. I didn't recognize it on any of the other decos, but.
Yeah, and it's a different. It looks like a different gold. It looks like it's dirty. It looks like when they put them in, the black kind of rubbed into the gold or yellow a little bit.
Well, and you could kind of see it in the alt mode. You could see his belly, and that's light gold, and the rest is dark gold.
Yeah.
So it looks like the thighs and his stomach and the hands are a different colored gold than the rest of him, which is kind of cool to have a little bit of variance in the color. But yeah, I mean, I know you're going to probably pick this one up.
Damn it, James, man. I didn't notice any of these things before you just pointed them out. And now I zoomed in and I can kind of see it. I do not have an opened gold version of Megatron, so I probably still will pick this up. Yeah, I think it still looks really good, and I mean it's really small, and it's probably only going to be, 20 something bucks or maybe 30 something bucks. So yeah, I'll pick it up still.
Yeah, and the photography looks really cool.
Yeah, the light in the back of that looks
it
really
works
good.
perfectly for a gold figure.
Yeah.
Well, moving on, we talked about this last time, but the test shot of the MB25 is shown off. I've always liked this alt mode because it's weird. I don't know what's going on, but I kind of like it at the same time. It's very Cybertronian, and this is kind of what I would love to see from Cybertronian alt modes, where they're not just greebly messes. They're more, weird space things. Either which way, I think this looks good. The only thing I don't like is that fist sticking out on his, I think that's his kneecap. Right where the gun is. It's not sticking out, but you see his fist.
You can see it folded in.
Yeah, I don't... Maybe in color you won't see it. It's all black or something. I don't know. But that's kind of throwing me off.
Yeah, I don't have a connection to this character at all. I agree with you on seeing a Cybertronian alt mode. This reminded me of what was it, the RID Ultra Magnus, the blue weapon he had that they ended up.
They named him Blue Bolt, even though Blue Bolt was already a bird character. Yeah,
that's what this reminds me of. It's fine, I guess. Again, I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I don't have a connection to the character. I passed on the Prime that this connects with, so I will be passing on this as well.
Yeah, I think this came out in a Nemesis color scheme. I don't remember, but either which way, if they repaint it, I might get it. And who knows? Maybe our friends over at the Chosen Prime will do something interesting with this.
Oh gosh, I hope not, because then they'll make me want to get it.
And lastly, we got Lewin Resources M01 Steel Fortress, showing off the head sculpts. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, I was trying to figure out where the differences are with both faces, and it just looks like
the mouth is slightly open.
The mouth is, yeah. So, you know what? This, the more I'm seeing of it, the more I think I want this because of FOMO, fear of missing out. I think that it looks fine. I don't love it though. I think I just really want a huge Metroplex, and while it looks good, it's just not the Metroplex that I love. And so seeing all these things is like, okay, that's cool, I guess. Those, the antennas on them, they look like huge donkey ears, and
they look cartoony.
Yeah,
and not in a good way.
Yeah. So I'm nitpicking here because the helmet looks great, the visor looks great, but again, it's just not the Metroplex that I grew up loving. So it's fine. Yeah, and I guess I'm starting to think about the price point a little bit more now.
Well, and now that I feel like they increased it, because I swear they said it was going to be $9.99, and now they're saying $1,200 to $1,500.
Yeah. So again, I'm poking holes in it because of the price, and because it's getting near. I'm like, oh, all right, here's $1,200, $1,500 you're about to shell out. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's fine, but I don't love it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I do think the faces are cool. Maybe not as Metroplex. They look a lot better in the helmet than out of the helmet, but I guess that's what they're going for. The one with the slightly open mouth reminds me of Apocalypse from X-Men, with the lips going out.
Yes.
I don't know why, but
Yes.
that's the first thing I thought of when, even though it's not painted. I was like, that looks like Apocalypse. With you know what I'm talking about? How his lips go all the
I know
way
exactly
around.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it looks cool, but again, I can see why you wouldn't be thrilled over it, just because it's not a G1 styled Metroplex. I feel like they should be painted silver. Maybe this is a prototype, but like the sides, like there's so much detail going on that I feel like there should be some more paint somewhere.
They should highlight it more.
Highlight something, you know what I mean? And again, this could just be a prototype, maybe it will, but I feel like there needs to be some sort of paint going on somewhere. If you're gonna do this and not give us a real more pulled back approach to a Metroplex, go all the way and give us some paint in there. But it's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we take a quick break before finishing off with what's incoming and recently released. All right, so let's talk about what's incoming. We might go through these a little bit fast, just because we talked about most of these already. But the first, Toys R Us showed off the comics Straxus. It still says it's on pre-order. It is sold out on Pulse, but I think it looks fine for what it is. I just wish it was larger, but like some people in the comments say, that's just my size queen, James, coming out. So,
yeah, I don't think we have to jump into this. We've talked about it. I'm expecting mine. Hopefully, it's shipped. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention, but I will be looking forward to it and be glad to get it.
Yeah, I'll glad to see it in your collection too. Next, we've got New Age H67 Varan Snarl. They're already packaging it up. I don't remember talking about this, but we talked about a lot of Dinobots recently. So be prepared to get yours if you are a Legends collector.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is the R version, which was limited to the 200, I think, from a brick and mortar store in overseas. But yeah, either way, I'm not picking either one of those versions up.
So I think you're talking about the next one we're talking about, which is Gorgo, and this is the H63 EXR.
That's it.
The one on this one, I guess the difference is the head. There's not much of a difference between the normal EX version. The other one was Snarl, which is the one with the spikes, right?
Yes, yes. So that was my fault. That's my fault.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the pen. Yeah.
So that one is coming out.
This is the one I was talking about.
This one's hard to get. It's already sold out at quite a few places for this specific deco. But I do like the red head when it has a painted face. I think that has been my issue. Because if you've been watching our episodes, you know I don't like the red head on this character. And it's because it just all blends in. And I think with the silver face, it looks actually really nice. Yeah.
I love it. It looks great. I'm not picking it up, but it looks good.
Yeah, I agree. Let us know in the comments if you picked up this version. This particular version, because we know there's 6 million repaints of this, and this is just another one to add to the bunch. Next, this caught me off guard. So Genesis Toys, which has been correct about Sound Blaster and Jester, said that Fanstoys Gary, Gehry, I'm assuming it's Gary. He doesn't turn into a snail, unfortunately, but Gary will be coming out soon. So what do you think of that?
Very excited. I do not get the snail reference, but
SpongeBob.
Yeah, definitely don't get that. But
that's
so
this is snail. Okay, anyways, go on.
And this is, I'm very excited about this. This is going to help clear up the way for the Devastator Wars, I think, moving forward. We already have one from X-Transbots. I just saw that the Mecha Invasion is about to ship as well. We saw the Dream Star. Yeah. So this coming out perfect. We can kind of see what each one looks like in hand and start doing some comparisons, even if it's not the exact same character, but we can kind of start looking at colors and quality and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think you're in for a treat with all those. It does look like the elbows are a little too high, but again, that could also be because I have it cropped. Either which way, I'm excited to see what this looks like when you get it in hand.
Same here.
Well, let's talk about what's recently released as Bobby waits for all of those Devastators. You know, it's going to be talk about a Devastator war in his basement. But we've got Last Night Drift by Metagate coming out. Looks good for what it is. Not my cup of Energon, not your cup of Energon because they changed the car. But I do think it looks nice. If I was a Movieverse collector, especially an MP one, I would probably be jumping at the gills to pick this up. I think it looks cool.
This pose looks really cool, and
Yes.
the colors look really good. But I'm not going in for another one. I made up my mind. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, if it was a car you like, maybe.
Maybe.
But I know you will be getting this guy. So this is now in stock. We've got Iron Factory EX65 Leo Zach. And I love this pose that he's in right here.
Yes, I do too.
I don't know. It just looks cool. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on getting this in?
It's like all the rest. I'm just waiting for the set to be finished. I will be grabbing this when it, as soon as it hits my door. So I'm looking forward to it. And the updated pictures I've seen, it looks a little bit better to me as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think this looks cool. And again, I'll be happy to see it in your collection. Well, that is everything we have for you. So, Bobby, what should they do?
Hey, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, comment. If you're not a member yet, think about giving us a try, because once I get back, we'll actually be just about time for our members only. And I'm really looking forward to that and talking with you all some more. So do all those YouTube things.
Yes, and we'll see you in the next one. It is way past my bedtime, so good night.
Yes, as always, to all Debater One, I'm going on an excursion.